On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we are talking about Strange New Worlds 308, 4.5 Vulcans, after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen on two lifelong friends sit and chat about Star Trek. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
It's okay. It's, chronic pain filled. Yeah.
I had a acute pain today. Not so chronic. Just a lot of. I woke up with a terrible headache, and I've been having more of them lately. It's been not good. I got to figure out what's going on with that. I think it's tension
scary.
headaches or some shit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
You should have your eyes checked.
Yeah, no, they're bad. I think my eyes are getting bad. I think my old age is catching up.
It's a thing with where your ocular nerves swell.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it could be, due to weight. Sometimes it could be due to other issues. Much worse. You hope it's weight. That's the thing. But it's apparently kind of common.
Yeah, I don't. It could be. I am getting a little bit worse eyesight with my old age, but there are a number of reasons it might have been happening today. But also, I think just stress. I'm stressed, man. But things are getting better. Honestly, we've had some good turns this week that I'll tell you about off cast. But
sure,
good things moving. Little reduction of stress. So I'm hoping that'll all be good. I also had 2 drinks yesterday, and here's the thing: I'm a binge drinker. I don't drink that often, but when I do, I like to rage. Like, I'm a party guy. I like to party. I don't really like to drink. I don't sit around and drink beers at the house. I have beers in my fridge, but they always last forever. Like, every time I have a party, I end up with more beers than I started with because people bring beers, and then I never drink at the house, so they just sit in there for, months, literally. Yeah. And so I'm just not a drinker. But when I drink, I normally party drink. And I know how to party drink. I know at the end I need to drink a few waters, take a headache medicine or something like before bed, and then I wake up fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I just have 2 drinks, I don't think about it. Like, I don't think to hydrate, and I don't think to, for whatever reason, often like just 2 drinks gives me a bad hangover. So this morning might have been a hangover because I had just 2 drinks yesterday. But I don't know. Anyway, that's enough speculation about my headache. I'm sorry you're having your pain shit too.
Oh yeah, impinged nerve shit.
Yeah, no, I know that was tough time. Well, let's turn to this universe that we look to for comfort in our time of pain.
Speaking of pain, yes,
yeah, that's probably a better way to say it.
This might be my least favorite Star Trek episode of all time.
That's a really high bar. Going that far makes me want to defend it, but I'm not far off from where you are. Like, this is a cartoon of an episode.
Yeah.
And even living in the, forgiving it for all the canon problems of, that's not how Vulcans work. Like, that, we knew this. Me and you've been talking about and, dreading this episode since the beginning of the season. Since the trailer came out, they released a clip of this, and we were like, this is stupid. That's not how Vulcans work. But, this was such a cartoon. Like, when he rose, and this is in the trailer too, I think, when he rose up as a Vulcan and had different hair. I mean, that is just such a joke. You know what I mean? It is such a, lack of care that the world you're building even has any kind of reality feeling at all,
Yeah, I was going to say they've had a bunch of animated series, but this is the first time Star Trek has been a cartoon.
Yeah, that
really
is very much how I felt. That's very this felt to me in some ways more. It felt as cartoonish as Lower Decks. And we've talked about how Lower Decks was kind of successful in what it was doing and people liked it. So this show has kind of adopted some of the tone of Lower Decks at times. But this is the first episode where I just felt it felt like they gave it to a cartoon writer to write it or something. It didn't feel like the show at all.
Yeah. I feel like the people running this show don't know what the hell they're doing. That's my personal feeling. They might turn out some really good ones. But, especially since, last season, it feels like it's just been getting a little sillier and a little sillier and a little more ridiculous. And, you know, and they're kind of ignoring, you know, some of what they I don't think they realize they're saying it, but I kind of feel like when you're telling me in a hand wavy fashion, yeah, we gave him the serum has, you know, is transferring over Spock's years of, you know, logic training and shit. I'm like, that sounds like genetic determinism. I don't.
Wait. Did they say that?
Yes.
I listened closely and did not hear that line.
It's in there.
I literally rewound it and did not hear that line.
It's in there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah, no, it's stupid for sure. Like if you have that ability, at least if that line's in there, which I literally listened to it twice because I was like, there's no explanation for their having logic. And then I rewound it and listened again because I was like, am I just missing it? Is there some throwaway line in here? And I missed it twice, I guess.
It's in there. It's stupid.
Okay. Stupid. Even if you were to do that, you also need a line about how there's a drawback because, like, why wouldn't every Vulcan just do that? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, this is a temporary solution that will only work once or something. You know, some sort of thing. Like, yeah, that's dumb.
I'll tell you this though, even if you have some version of a serum that could transfer over that training, I don't think you would make Captain Pike act like a conehead.
Yeah.
That motherfucker did not act like a Vulcan. He was waddling around like a conehead and screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, I'm with you. These characters, you know, one of the things I thought the best joke of the episode was kind of a joke, I feel like, on a character more than it was a joke. And that is the fact that they almost... they had Carol Kane take the serum as well. Mm-hmm. I'm forgetting her character's name right now. Thank you. They had Palia take the serum, and it was like, oh, that would be kind of interesting to see Palia and Carol Kane tackle being a Vulcan, because she is... I've never seen her have... I don't know her body of work that well, but the things I've seen, she's always kind of this character.
Yeah. You've seen her. That's her body of work. That's everything.
I can think of 4 or 5 appearances. I don't want to say she has no. I don't want to say she has no range because I've only seen 4 or 5 things. But the things I've seen, she is this character, and it kind of feels like them, like they were joking about her lack of range. It was like, hey, let's give her the serum, see if it works, and the audience goes, oh, interesting. Carol Kane trying to be a Vulcan, that would be interesting. And then she's like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah. Once again, though, really all she contributed to the entire episode was explaining that, oh, I did a thing in the 60s. Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, mentioning how old you are. It's so boring. Please get her the fuck off of my screen.
Yeah, I don't mind her for the most part. She's not my favorite thing in the show, but
this character is just terrible.
I don't have that. I don't have the same hatred that you do for her.
She's just become like the same joke over and over again, and about half of what she says, you can barely understand what she says. You have to put on subtitles.
That is the thing that I think Strange New Worlds has a habit of doing, is just... I said how different it felt. That episode where we finally had... I believe it's when they go down to the planet, the Q planet or whatever, that we speculated was a Q planet with the Pa Wraith or whatever, the Vesca. They go down there. They get that one guy. I was talking about how like interesting it was to see a character just like being excited to be in Starfleet and have this like Starfleet experience and just like living his life as a Starfleet officer and him doing his little recordings and stuff. And it was just like, it felt like Star Trek to me. And that's one of the things I loved about that episode. And yeah, they have a bad habit of having these characters that they're only there to make the kind of like silly jokes they make. They're not often like doing anything with their job. Especially now that Scotty's on the ship. Palia is just hanging out in her room, and they've got Scotty doing all the engineering.
She literally interrupted like the briefing to go, up high.
Yeah, that was so ridiculous. I was watching that, and I was just like, this is so, like, he looks annoyed at her. Like, he's not happy to be sitting there with her. It's not like this is a funny gag they have. Like, I don't know why she's in that chair next to him. It just felt so awkward.
Mm-hmm. I miss the blind Andorian guy.
Me too. Me too. He was great. He was so good.
I don't remember his name at the moment, but it's been a while.
One part of this episode I did like.
Okay.
I did like one thing. I liked Patton Oswalt's Doug, is that his name?
Yeah.
I know it's silly, and in the context of the rest of the episode, it's like a cherry on top of all the rest of the silliness. But if you just take that section and move it to another episode, the idea of Doug, the Vulcan, who's fascinated with human experience and like wants to focus on that, and like named his children Earth names, and like wants to experience Earth. I thought that was a fun little thing, and the love story between him and Una, like the whole thing. I liked it. It was that worked for me. It's like the whole ABC plot thing, where a lot of times on Star Trek you get an A plot that's sort of serious, a B plot that's relational, and then a C plot that's like a silly joke. Mm-hmm. That would have been a really nice C plot, which it was in this episode, but unfortunately the A and B plots in this episode were also just silly kind of dreck.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. And honestly, like, I was so pissed off with the way they presented him, because it's like he's built up as this character who, like, you know, he's this ex of Una's that she can't be around and stuff. And they did the stupid thing where they show like the hot guy and to trick the audience for a second and thinking like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then he moves aside and it's like the squat little fat guy. And I'm like, that's some punching down shit that I didn't want to see from Star Trek.
Interesting. I hear that. I didn't take it that way. I took it the way of like, Una's not so superficial. And it's a surprise because it's Una and she's played by Rebecca Romaine, and it's like she's a model, and so you might expect the person, like, as an audience we have the expectation that it might be a like some hot guy that she's so sexually attracted to, but that's not what she cares about. And I didn't feel like they treated their relationship as any less sexy and like drawing her in even after his introduction, you know what I mean? And it's not like the other characters were going like, what are you thinking? Right. You know what I mean? It's a little gag, it's a little sight gag, I agree. But like, to me, it was more like, I bet you expected this. Nah, she's into Patton Oswalt type. And I guess I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, like I didn't mind the way they represented it after that gag, but the fact that it was introduced with that gag annoyed me. It was like they could not stop themselves from making some kind of commentary on it.
Well, I'm also, I hear that, but I also think like, while this is a utopia, we don't live in that utopia, and so like not commenting on it in any way feels like it's going to be something people are going to comment on. But I like, at the end of the episode, it doesn't end with her like coming to her senses.
Right. No.
You know what I mean? It ends with them like going to be together. And it's like, cool. Like, is he going to be on the ship some? Is he going to be like a lover of Una's for the next year? Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool for representation for schlubby fat guys who end up punching way above their weight. When it comes to, or below their weight, however you want to put it, when it comes to the classic beauty of their partners.
If they were going for that gag though, I don't know, Patton might not be the one. His wife is pretty attractive in real life. So
well, yeah. I mean, but yeah, sure. And I'm not going to comment on that. I like it's an awkward thing to comment on. Period. So whatever. Like I don't.
It's just an odd choice all around for Star Trek, is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, you just mean that gag.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
I feel like it was a gag that has been in a bunch of shows. It's really played.
Yeah, no, this entire episode is nothing but played gags. Like, it's nothing but gags the whole time. It's silly. it doesn't have any meat to it at all. I do not like this episode.
Yeah.
For modern Trek, it might be my least favorite episode. I don't know. This one and that one from a few weeks ago up the murder mystery are two of my least favorite Strange New Worlds episodes.
Yeah.
There have been some weak Strange New Worlds episodes, but those were bad in my opinion. These two were bad.
I don't want to say... I mean, I don't like to just be like, this is the worst Star Trek ever, period. I'm sure that I could find one that might be worse. But all of the really bad ones in my memory, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, no, I'd watch Threshold before this again.
Yeah.
No, I'd watch Spock's Brain before this. I'd watch, that episode of DS9 where Bashir becomes possessed and apparently didn't like the storyline, so he overacted on purpose. I'll watch that again. I don't like this episode so much.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's bad. It's just bad.
There was an interesting possibility with La'an. What does the Vulcan DNA do with the augment DNA? I feel like they took way too fucking long to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, something's going to happen with La'an. She's going to become a bad guy. I knew it immediately. As soon as I saw her as part of the group, I was like, oh yeah, that's not going to mix well. The Vulcans were a violent race. Right.
They also combined it with the idea of the Romulans for a second, which was I do think that scene was funny. It's funny, but not for Vulcans. It made all the Vulcans. I know that part of the Vulcan thing is that they think they're all good, but they're just as flawed as humans are. Mm-hmm. They're just flawed in different ways, and they're arrogant. But that moment where they're like, I thought it was a funny gag when they're like, we don't. I heard about a thing on a previous mission. Oh, me too. Maybe we say it at the same time. Romulans, we should speak of this no more. And they turn around. Like, it was well delivered. It's a funny little joke, but it doesn't make any sense from Vulcans. It doesn't make any... Yeah. Also, like, M'Benga was on the side of the people who were trying to, like, commit a mutiny, basically.
Mm-hmm.
He's the medical officer. He could just say, like, you're not the captain anymore.
Yeah.
Completely realistically and like in the chain of command, he could just be like, you're not the captain. Like, you got to step down for a while. We got to fix this.
Oh, you know what else M'Benga is? Canonically, M'Benga is an expert on Vulcans.
Oh.
Thrown out. Ignored.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's not yet.
No, he interned. It was, it's the whole thing from the original series.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I we could go into each storyline, or we could just leave it. Like, I'm really just not. I'm not very impressed with this episode.
I'll tell you what I laughed at in the episode.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, when Spock wanted to sit with La'an and Una. And they were just so weird about it. And then it just cuts to, they like look back over at him eating alone, and he's just, it's just kind of cluelessly chomping, like, do. I don't know. That made me laugh.
That's funny. It's funny that made you laugh. That made me think they were, it's so funny. Our perceptions episode, I feel like even the parts that we both tried to like, the other person's like, I was stupid. I didn't like that. Because it felt a little like they were just making a joke of Spock.
Oh, yeah, they definitely were. And I agree. There was a part of me that was pissed off about that because I feel like the Spock that I am a fan of is just so far above that shit. But at the same time, like, it made me laugh because it was something that I would write. If that sounds so conceited, but it was something I would write for myself. Not for, like, Spock, but that is totally a thing that I would, like, create a character around where he's just like, okay. And while they're spiraling, he's just over there, like, happily chomping on a sandwich, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't work for Spock, but it was funny overall.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. This episode's like a cartoon, but it's a competently written and acted cartoon.
Oh, I don't even think that's true, but...
Oh, I do. I think like if you take away the Star Trek universe from it and you're not worried about any of the weird canon things or whatever, like I think it's fine, but it's just nothing that I want from Star Trek. I don't want this in Star Trek at all. I just did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah. I hated the weird, I don't know, dance number in her head.
Oh yeah.
The mind meld. That was dumb with the spotlight following them.
Yeah.
I just hated it. I hated everything. Almost everything about this episode. I hated they changed the opening monologue. Did you skip it?
Oh, no, I listened to it.
It was bad.
Yeah. It was. It feels like they were like, hey, we're going to do everybody gets to be a Vulcan episode, and we're not going to really discuss what it means to be a Vulcan at all. We're just going to try to get everyone to use a flat affect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a thin version of what it means to be a Vulcan that it is insulting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is silly because I feel like an ownership of these characters, and like if you're gonna do an episode about what it means to be a Vulcan and like what it would mean for Pike to understand what it's like to be a Vulcan and what it would mean for all these different characters to experience being a Vulcan and like what those emotions mean, and even if they could figure out a way to like instead of having them do whatever in the serum, the line I missed. Let them experience the extreme emotions, then let Spock help them control it with a mind meld, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been much better, you know?
Maybe they could have gone into the fact that Spock felt like he was being bullied again, like triggered from his youth, because they kept saying
they
he wasn't
did a
really
little bit.
Vulcan.
They do that a little bit. They like play with the fact that he's just annoyed, but like all of that could have been interesting to me. Like I could see a rewrite of this episode that could have fit really well in the Star Trek universe and been interesting to me, but
not with magic hair.
Yeah, not with magic hair and like a serum that fixes their emotions and and no discussion of what it really means to be Vulcan or like what these things like these walls. You know what would be really interesting? They get Spock to do a mind meld with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how mind melds have that sort of effect on the person doing them?
Yeah.
Like have him have to take on, like he fixes their walls so they can go to the mission, but it makes him like really have to let all his emotion out, you know, like his walls fall down, and then you've got like the B plot is Spock is in the brig like freaking out, you know what I mean? Like Spock is or in his quarters trying to control himself, and like having to deal with what his emotions mean, and having like a real conversation with Chapel or with whoever La'an.
I'm not sure I would have gone that way personally, like just because this is sort of a sequel to the episode where he became human and suddenly all of his walls were down.
Wait, I don't remember the details of that episode. All his walls were down when he was a human?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense either.
They also didn't do they didn't make any,
that doesn't make any sense. So like if you were a human, you'd just be less emotional and still have all of the training.
Yeah, you would think.
That makes no sense either. I don't remember what we thought of that episode at the time, but that's dumb just on the face of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we saw that one.
So to me, like, I want to know, how does Vulcan Pike think about, his fate that's coming?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like deal with the actual character and what does being a Vulcan mean? What is the logic of understanding the future and time travel? And that's a great idea.
Yeah. I wanted to see La'an tapping into that violent history of Vulcan and what it means with her, augment DNA. Like that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want her to see. She became a cartoon villain.
Yeah, a silly villain. It's also. You want to know one of the silliest moments of the episode for me?
What's that?
When they beam down to the planet, and they're like, it's going to take a few hours. We're done.
Yep.
There's a way to play that, and I feel like...
Why the fuck did Pike bring a Lurpa?
What's a Lurpa?
The big fighting stick with the blade on the end, like from the Muck time.
That makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
No sense at all. Maybe their security officers from Vulcan ships carry those or something. Like they're pretending to be a Vulcan crew. Maybe security officers carry them in this situation. I don't know. I'm trying to headcanon a thing that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
But TNG would have done this joke, or Discovery, or any of these shows would have done that same joke of it's going to take 3.5 hours. And they're back in like maybe 40 minutes, right? Like it would have made sense if they were like, well, it's saying that it's going to, according to the schedule, a schedule we had set up, it's going to take them about 3.5 hours. And they get an alert. It's like, they're done. Wait, but it's only been 40 minutes. Like that's the joke you make. You don't make, they beam down, it's going to take 3.5 hours, and then they beam back up. Like it's so stupid. You don't have time to like put down your gear yet. Like you don't have time to, they're not the Flash. Like it's not, it's so dumb. It's so like obviously a cartoon to the point of breaking the universe that it really pisses me off.
Yeah. You want to know what my headcanon is for this episode, by the way?
What's that?
This is the way it happened according to Palia. I think Palia is sitting in a bar somewhere telling the story and embellishing the fuck out of it.
Yeah, all the dumb episodes, we can just say it's Palia's misremembered moments. I like that. That works for me.
Or it could also be that this is the way that Mariner tells the story of what happened back then.
Right, yeah.
Like, one of the people from Lower Decks, oh my god, so this is what happened. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the universe.
No, it doesn't at all. There's a bunch of stuff that's like literally just broken and doesn't work in the universe. And it's annoying.
It sucks.
Do we have any feedback?
Huh?
Do we have any feedback?
Yeah, Stu Little wrote in.
Okay. I love you, Andre. But I'm sort of glad we don't have a really positive one from Andre this week.
Yeah, I didn't see one. Also didn't look real hard. I'm sorry, Andre.
I'm saying this to say I love Andre and I appreciate his feedback. They often make me feel like a little like, oh, that's an interesting take on the episode, but like I don't have a positive thoughts about this episode at all, and it'd be really hard to like not just be like, no, Andre, no, don't even do it. Sorry.
Yeah. So Stu says, "Oof."
Indeed.
That's it.
That's his whole thing.
That was his entire email.
Oh, that's the Jesus wept of Stu emails.
Dude. Do you know that Community episode?
No, I don't think I know what you're talking
about. I was laughing about that all week. Someone reminded me of it. Not that it takes very much to remind me of Community things, but there's an episode in like season 5 or 6 where the dean, I can't remember how he comes into possession of this, but he gets like an old like 90s VR system, and he's like in the little like enclosure, and he's got the headset on, and he keeps like, he's like, oh my god, I'm more powerful than anyone could have imagined. And he just feels like a god in this thing, and he's like climbing up a wall of files. He's like transitioned everything in the school over to this stupid VR system, and he has to like climb mountains to get to files and destroy them. But he just keeps screaming like, Jesus wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer. At some point, he just very boisterously screams, Jesus wept. And Jeff is like, stop saying Jesus wept.
It's really funny. What? Who is that? What is that from? He wept for there's like, that's from something else.
Like,
it's
Alexander
it's not
the Great,
Jesus.
maybe?
Is it Alexander the Great? I was trying to think like who that is. It's a very I'm looking it up on Google. Yeah, it's apparently attributed to Alexander the Great. I don't know if it's from They wept because he had conquered all available worlds. The historical texts suggest he wept because he learned there were an infinite number of other worlds, and he had not yet conquered any of them. What? Okay, this Google AI is...
Yeah, you can't trust that.
No, you can't. But it normally gets like the top line right, but then when you read down, it's just like, what? What is happening? Right. Sometimes what really annoys me is when me and Ashley Coffin were on an MCU cast episode one time, and we were trying to find out how many episodes something had, and we both searched at the same time, and I was like, oh, it looks like it has 8 episodes, and she's like, it has 6 episodes. And we were both looking at Google AI, like the answer on Google AI, and it's just different. And like, something about her algorithm versus my algorithm gave her just a different answer than I got, and we're both like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here?
That they put that there for the Joe Rogan search.
What do you mean?
So when Joe Rogan is on his podcast and he says, hey, look that up, they put that there, the incorrect information, so that he can spout that off.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, is it Ozymandias who has that line? Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Ozymandias uses that line in Watchmen, apparently. That Alexander the Great wept for there no more worlds to conquer.
Yeah, that was totally a reference, though.
No, I know. I was thinking it might be because Ozymandias, the character, is a reference to the poem. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if the poem Ozymandias had referenced it, and then I clicked on it, and it was a Watchmen reference. And I was like, oh, never mind. I was like, wait, is that line in the Ozymandias poem, like the old school whatever? Yeah, nope, never mind.
By the way, when Patton Oswalt's character says, really, as a full Vulcan, I cannot lie. He should have known that Vulcans can absolutely lie. They fucking always lie. That is a thing. That's like it's almost a joke that they don't lie. Or a myth in the canon, because they lie. We've seen them do it. It's always like a little thing, like, oh, yeah, well, we do sometimes. It was an exaggeration or some shit.
Right. They come up with some sort of explanation for it. But I thought that they weren't supposed to be able to lie, but obviously some can and some do. Like obviously there've been like conspiracies where the Vulcans were, conspiring to do something. You can't really do that without a lie. Like secrets. You have to be able to keep secrets and lie.
Well, there was like a whole bit, like in the original series, there was a thing where it was like Vulcans don't lie. Okay. And then like we would see Spock lie, and it would be kind of like, it was an exaggeration, the original movies.
Yeah, I remember those.
Oh, yeah. Okay, interesting. But then we had the whole thing in 2009 where Sarek talks about, he said that it was logical to marry his mother, and then he's like, that was a lie. I married her because I love her. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to admit that I love because I'm a Vulcan. Like those are fucking lies, dude. Like canonically, they have lied.
Yeah, for sure.
Over and over.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about all I got. You got anything else you want to say about this episode?
Strike it from canon.
Agreed. This might be the shortest episode of our podcast we've done, because we always get on here thinking we're going to do a short one, and we always go an hour.
I tried to, By the way, why is Beto there? Why? And also, like, why is a guy who was just like, they're like, oh, he's a people pleaser. You didn't know that about him? It's one of the best parts about him. And I'm like, this is a dude who was just making a documentary trying to claim that Starfleet was full of colonizers. Like,
yeah, that's not a very people pleaser reaction. Like, if he was willing an episode ago to burn down their relationship and lie to her and like secretly record her and all this stuff, and now he's not willing to hold on to his own personality, like, it just doesn't. No, that doesn't line up. That is something about the sloppiness of this show. And this happens on all Star Trek, I'm sure. Sometimes the characters are not well defined. Sometimes they're not well defined, and then like later they become well defined. But like you can watch a show, and if the show is well written and the characters are well defined, you know how they'll react to certain things. And this show, it's driven by whatever they want the story to be. Whatever the plot is, they'll react the way they want it to. It's the opposite of that sort of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan ethos of like, we just, whatever the characters are going to go through, they're going to make the decisions they're going to make, and we got to decide what those decisions are, and then based on those decisions, see what the next decisions would be. What's the best decision for the characters to make based on who they are? Like, that's that whole Vince Gilligan thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very much the opposite. It's like, we want a funny Vulcan episode, and we want Beto to give up his personality, even though he just did a documentary that would have burned this relationship down. Like, yeah, it makes no sense.
If I was Chris Parnell and the guy who just took over, not this SNL guy, the guy, and I saw this episode, I would fire every fucking person in charge of this show.
Yeah, you would.
I absolutely would. Like, there's no doubt about it. I would go in and just be like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, it is unacceptable. This is an unacceptable Star Trek episode, and I do not accept it. I mean, it's there, it's canon, whatever, but I hate it. Hate it with passion. And it sucks. I'm glad the last 3 were good. I really am, because like, I was already in a dark place 4 episodes ago, and then we got 3 good ones in a row, and I'm like, okay, I can survive this one and head into the last final 2. I survive. My love for Star Trek survives even this, because they gave me 3 good ones.
Right. I mean, even still, though, I've said it on the show. I've been walking around. I didn't say this part, but it's like I've been walking around with a splinter in my foot, because I know that Vulcan episode's coming.
Yeah. And we made it through. We survived. My love of Star Trek is intact, but I'm pretty annoyed at it right now.
Yeah. Pretty rough.
All right. Well, great to talk to you, Dave.
Yeah, man. Likewise. Sorry, it took a minute for us to get on the show.
No, totally fine. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Bye.
Wait, Joe Lontrue and all that shit.
Yeah, I literally felt like we were on the phone. That was really funny.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything to end the show. Like, we were just like talking, we were commiserating about how bad this episode is. We forgot we were on a podcast.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. That has never happened to me, that I've just like literally completely forgot there was an audience and that I was making a podcast.
Yeah. This is one of those shows though where I was just like, I'm a little scared for our friendship. I'm pretty sure he's gonna hate this. I don't know if it can survive him liking it though.
Yeah. No, didn't like it. Like, there's no way. This kind of canon breaking and like world breaking, there's no way I can like it. It's not in me. I'm not that kind of fan. So yeah,
a 35-year friendship might have ended if you had liked this episode. No,
that's funny.
I would have been concerned.
No.
This isn't Matt.
Who are you? Oh man, Joe Lontrue.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.